Well, hello there, friends and family. As you can see, it's a bright sunshiny day today. Yep, finally. We've had 2 days of no rain and bright sunshine. And it's starting to dry out some. Or at least enough where we can walk. Okay? So I thought I'd take y'all out and we'll do a little walkabout and a little talk about. Because, I mean, it's this time of year. I think today is March 6th, 2021. And that, and see what's going on. Because, things are starting to wake up. But, something I want to remind y'all of. Here in my portion of Deep South, here in just, southern Alabama, this is what we call Fool Spring. Yeah, we all get to rushing around, planting our seeds, getting our ground ready, putting transplants out, buying all those things from, Bonnie Plants and everything, bringing them on home, sticking them in the ground. Yeah. Well, I'm here to tell you, there's still the possibility of a late frost. And it's happened many times to me. That's why they call this Fool Spring. So, be careful what you do. Be prepared to cover up and protect those young seedlings and plants that you're putting on out. Well, Mr. Tom, there ain't no big rush. Don't need the food. I got plenty in the house. We're just going to wait. And we're going to make sure that we got everything ready to go and ready to put in the ground around Good Friday and Easter. Because, based on history, that's when it's the safest. Here in my locale. Y'all do what y'all want to do. I'll do me. Okay? As always, I got Spook here. He's with me. Yep, still got his collar on. That's amazing. Of course, we got Cleo here. And I know some of y'all said my little Cleo's hair missing and all that might be from a flea allergy. And you might be right, because she had that last year. So we put her on a collar. Now, she's got a special one. She's got a nice 7-month flea collar. Now, before I get a whole lot of comments about how bad collars are, that's a breakaway collar, and it don't take much effort at all to break it off. But, just like any lady, Cleo, just like Trixie and Gracie, they love their collars. And she sticks around the house, and we come out many, many times a day and check on our kitties. Don't we, Miss Cleo? Yeah, you Papa's girl. You Papa's girl. And she just loves that she's got something nice on. And hopefully that'll help her. Plus I gave her a flea treatment. And maybe that'll help her out. No, Spook? And I don't know why this is. Maybe some of y'all know. Some kitties are just inundated with fleas. Others, not so much. What do I mean by that? Well, as we're starting to look at what's left of our narcissus, which ain't much, they finally gave up the ghost. I've had kitties like Merlin. Never had a flea problem all his life, never put a collar on them or did anything. Spooky's the same way. I ain't ever seen a flea on them. Don't know why. Oh my. Look at that. Now that's something special. I haven't seen that in many a year. And you might wonder what that is. Well, that's an iris, folks. Yep, a white one. And if you remember from garden videos in the past, these irises were left over from the original people who built this house. Yep, the Carlyles. These were Mrs. Carlyle's. And I kept this little patch right here, transplanted it when I put this bed in. And they don't often bloom. And I haven't seen them in many a year. But there they are. So I must be doing something right. And it might just be 1, 2, or 3. But I'll take it. So the narcissus will start dying back. You can already see it here. When they turn all yellow and brown, all the way to the base, you'll be able to give them a little tug. And the leaves will pop off from the bulbs. And we'll be ready to plant this out in something for the summer. Yep, sure will. As you all seen. And finally, it's good to walk up on the old rain gauge and see we don't have to empty it. Nope. She's empty for now, the 3rd day in a row. And hopefully this year we won't suffer from drought. You know, when I retired in May of 2018, we were in a severe drought. In fact, they called it extreme. 2019, severe to extreme drought. 2020, moderate drought. Hopefully this year we won't be. But the blueberries are coming alive. And for those of you who don't know what a blueberry looks like, the blossom, you see these right here with the just little tinges of purple and green. That's the berry blossoms. Yep, sure is. And they're covered with them. And then you'll see the leaf just starting out right here. Yep, they're just covered with them. Look at that. Ooh, we got some wind too. Now yesterday, it almost made 70. The day before yesterday, it did make 70. But today, we're at 64. Oh my Lord. We got something showed up from the mail. Something on Mr. Tom didn't order. So this has to be from you, the viewers. So I'll just say right here, whoever sent these, you know who you are. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you ever so much. It surely is appreciated. Y'all never know how much it is. Cleo, you coming along with Papa? Sweetie, you coming along with Papa? You are. Yep, I see old Spook over there. He bringing up the rear, ain't he? You know Papa loves you, don't he? Now it's this time of year that you want to get out. You got your juices flowing, right? Sunshine, little breeze here, and everything. Of course, my LaTanya, I'm not sure about it. As you can see, a lot of it's very brittle. We're going to have to wait to see where it sprouts back from. I was going to trim it back, but now I've got to wait to see what parts of it actually come alive. we got cold, really cold, for the first time in many years here in the deep south. And this plant here is native more to extreme southern areas of the U.S. and of course Mexico. So it may have died back a ways. We'll see. We're going to give her time before we make a decision. And up here on the bank, you can already start to see the new growth on the blueberry. Not blueberries. You know, I don't know why I keep wanting to say blueberries. These are blackberries. See them right there? See all that new green coming up? Yeah. But we got to get up here also and get to raking out some of these here pine needles. We don't want to do too much because this is a steep slope. And the inner matting of the pine needles help hold this ground. They surely do. And of course we got our pine right here. I love this old tree. It ain't all that old. James and I planted it. Well, probably about, I guess now, probably 20 years ago. Came up wild here on the place, and from I guess a seed that a bird dropped over by the house. James plucked it up, stuck it in a pot. It kept growing, and me and him stuck it right here. Wouldn't take it down for nothing in the world. But something you can already see right here. Won't be long. You see all those? Yep. That's your flowers of the pine tree. And pretty soon, the waves of yellow will be flowing across the wind when all the pines in this area start to produce pollen. Won't be long at all. Now for me, once all the pollen starts cranking in, well, the oaks haven't. They're just starting to bud out. Yep. You can see the pines are a little bit ahead. Now I'm worried about my old oaks. And I prayed about them because I cut them way back. And that could have been detrimental. And then that hard freeze could have even killed them on off. But I see their buds are starting to swell. Yes, sir. And I see some young leaves right there. So I'm hoping, and I prayed, that with all the cutting back we did, we didn't kill them. That's always a concern, isn't it, Cleo? And like always, we got Thistle over here, and most people who want a manicured yard, Thistle is a demon. But to me, it's a beautiful plant. I mean, it's going to grow, and it's spiky. Nothing will eat it, even though it is totally edible. And it'll shoot up nice flower stalk. And the bees love it. And it produces an amazing amount of seed. And it's that same seed that I buy for the little bitty birdies called Niger seed. Yep, that's thistle seed, which is extremely expensive. So this year, you can see I got several patches of them. I'm going to try to mow around these, and hopefully the city and neighbors will give me a break and they'll understand I'm trying to preserve nature, not destroy it. You know, and I don't want this to be a religious video, but God had a plan. Yep, He did. And we humans tend to come up with our own plan of everything that's uniform. You know, everything's square, flat, manicured. No. In God's plan, it was layers built upon layers upon layers. You know, soil fungi. Yeah. Then there were the different plants. There were the plants that hug the ground, like you see the thistle here. There were plants that rose up above it, mid-level. There were plants that went to a higher level. And then there were the trees that would make up the canopy. He had a plan. But, you know, we think we're smart. We think we're more intelligent. And people get set in their ways. And I was worried about my fig too. And I'm not sure how it'll turn out after the winter we've had. But I do see some greening of some buds right there. Yeah. But I'll also be honest, I see a lot of ones that aren't looking too good either. They're looking dead. Here again, I pray for my plants. Some may say that's wrong. What you're seeing right here is an elderberry. Yeah. Have one right here, even though I don't want it here. No matter what I've done. And I've cut this thing down 100 times if I've cut it down once. Keeps coming back. So this year, we're going to leave it. Got another one right over here. Sure do. Right here. I've done the same. I didn't want them here, so I chopped them down. This keeps coming back. So this year, it too, as this one right here, will remain. Now I'm just going to train them over there, keep them out of the way, so they don't knock off the old man's hat when he's mowing. And of course got feeders, still feeding the birds. But we're going to give it today, and since tomorrow is Sunday, Lord's Day, we'll give it tomorrow, because we're not supposed to see rain till next Sunday. And then we're going to get out here. Like, we're going to get this area where we've grown a many a crop of beans and cucumbers ready to go. Not sure what we're going to put here. Since we had beans last year, I'm thinking cucumbers this year. What do y'all think? And then up here at the old bean tower, what we affectionately call the clothesline plant in the area. favorite of the possums we got. We got 2 possums now. I'm thinking about going with cucumbers too. Maybe some pickling cucumbers. You know, I got a recipe. Goes all the way back to my grandpa and my daddy for some of the finest pickles you'll ever eat on this planet. And people used to come from miles around to ask my daddy. They'd go, "Mr. Jim, you got any pickles for sale?" And we made a pile of pickles. And Daddy would sell them till he hardly had any left. Of course, back then we needed the money. Wasn't like we were doing it just for ourselves. And everything else is coming alive. You see something of interest, Spook? See all the greenery down here? Now some of all this greenery will fade away from the coolness of the early spring to the higher temperatures of the early summer. Of course, it won't be no time, will it, Cleo, till it'll be hotter than a hoo-hoo. What do y'all see in there, huh? Well, get on in there and get it. They see something. Who knows what? And see, it got so cold that it even froze my bamboo. That one there, surely dead. As is a lot of it in the bamboo forest. But I do know some of it survived, just like this one did. And who knows why? This one survived. That one right over there ain't 8 feet away. It died. But something else is coming alive. See right here? These are my possum grapes. Or no, I'll take that back. I didn't see the stickers on it. This is a blackberry. It surely is. Excuse me for telling y'all wrong. That's a blackberry cane waking up. That's a good thing. You see, I don't know whether you have a 1/4 acre, 1/10 of an acre, a postage stamp yard, or what have you. And I know people who never get out in their yard. You go out in their patio. They grill some things, steaks, chicken, burger, what have you. And that's about the size of it. Then they go back on in the house. But you know, those people, they don't even look around. They pay somebody to mow the grass, trim their hedges, tend their shrubs and flowers. Well, they look at it briefly. And that's the whole sum total of it. Now here we are at, these are the possum grapevines, and they have yet to come alive. But I'm sure they will. Or I hope they do. Because some of them are a little brittle, as you can see. And that's all because the extreme cold temperatures that we had here in the Deep South for so long, they killed them. But just like the bamboo here, that somehow has miraculously survived, I think some of those possum grapes will survive too. But I may only have a 1/2 acre, but there's an amazing amount of diversity and abundance on this little 1/2 acre. And as you can see, through the wind and the rain, cardboard on what will be a garden place, or has been a garden place, stood up well. Hanging in there it is. Got me a fine magnolia tree here with its bulletproof leaves. You can't destroy magnolia leaves. Mower won't even cut them up. Yep, that'll probably come down when we clear off this fence line, which we're going to be doing. And I'm seeing the dewberries even start to have a little bit of new growth in them too. Just a little bit. Now, some people wonder, when I'm out here munching on my dewberries, you know, they look like blackberries. Well, they're a close relative. Except dewberries do just like you're seeing. They crawl across the ground. Blackberries, you know, their first cousin, grow up in upright canes, like I've already showed you. And we got to get out here and get a raised bed ready to go. And you can see right here the garlic chives that are growing wild all throughout the backyard. You can see them out in there if you look closely. They survived the winter without a problem. Got all this new green growth right here. See them? Oh yeah. And these are tasty. If you want to make some fine taters, you know, mashed taters, garlic taters, you know, some people use chives. Use some of these. Or get some of that there Philadelphia cream cheese. Chop you up a bunch of these and throw in it. Woo, doggy, that's good. I just popped some in my choppers, and it's such a mild garlic flavor. It's simply scrumptious. But it'll be a while before we worry about this overrated bed, because we got our hairy vetch coming up, you know, and it's going to be pumping in the nitrogen from the atmosphere into the bed. Now underneath there, right in there, you can see the oregano's there. It's happy, it's okay. Over here, you can see the thyme. It's okay. It'll be fine. Of course, we got our onions here, green onions, and that. They made it through the winter. They're starting to pump out some new growth. And we've been harvesting some of these and using them for our salads. You know, like that cabbage salad y'all saw. Yep. Of course, we cut the ends off. Stick them in a Ziploc bag. When we get a bunch, come back out here and stick them back in the ground. It's just that simple. Then we got our pot of oregano growing here, and what you might not know is right in here, you see these little fine little green stalks? That is garlic chives coming up wild from the seed that dropped off here. Yeah, didn't even have to plant it. So we're gonna have oregano and garlic chives all in this one pot. Now granted, this pot's seen better days. I'm thinking maybe get one more season out of it. But if not, I'll come up with another one. Because I've had these garlic chives, which started everything here on the home place. Lord, now 20 years or more, and everything that's growing wild in the yard now, garlic chive wise, came from this one pot. And it's been neglected. Of course, it's falling apart. Probably couldn't even move it right now, but she's hanging in there. Now I take care of it. But these here, oregano I started right in here, I just took some clippings from the oregano I placed over there in that raised bed, stuck them in the ground. I'm gonna tell you, once you got oregano established, it'll take over. That's why I put it in a pot. Cleo, you loving on Papa? He ain't giving you enough loving, He ain't giving you enough. Oh. Now, don't use claws. You hurt Papa. Oh, you hurt. Let go. I love you. Cleo. Ooh. You don't get your loving, you get cranky, don't you? Yes, you do. But I love you to death. You know that. I love you to death. Oh, she's a mess. She don't want me to go. But you can see all throughout here, the dewberries. They're all over the ground. And even when I mow, I won't disturb them, because I keep my mower deck up as high as I can get it. There's so much abundance on this little half acre of ground that it has amazed me throughout the 25 years I've lived here. And I would have never saw it had I not been working such amazing hours that I just couldn't keep up with it one year. And even though my son was living here at the time, he had his own issues, and things got a little wild. But it was during that year that I saw the true majesty of the plan by letting it go wild. Yep. I'd have never saw it if I wouldn't have got so consumed by my work. Nope. So I'm thankful that even though I was working horrendous hours, 70, 80 plus hours a week, sometimes more, and I know that's hard to believe, but that's a fact. It allowed me to see the true beauty of nature and the plan. You see over here, even though this is all coming down here shortly, this is Chinese privet, which was brought over to be an ornamental. You've seen it, privet hedges. This is it, but what happens is privet puts out a bunch of berries, birds eat the berries. They fly all over the south and poop the berries out, and these now grow wild, and they become quite an invasive species here in the south. Yes, they have. they're not a good thing anymore. But that's how what man has done. And man didn't do it intentionally. That's why when the youngins look at what we, supposedly baby boomers, have done to the planet, you know, they're looking back in hindsight. We didn't know. Just like those before us didn't know when they brought kudzu over, when they brought Chinese privet over, you know, when they brought over the popcorn tree, which is now super invasive in the South as well. And there's just a massive list of invasive species that our forefathers brought over with all good intentions. They didn't know. So I'm thinking Monday, this is the project on hand. Get the tire planters cleaned on out, fenced down. And I know, just from reading my land, by what's growing, I don't need no nitrogen in my tire planters. See how green everything is? Nor here. I mean, this stuff is up 12 inches or more. This grass, different wild weeds. So there's plenty of nitrogen in this soil. But I will give it a test for P and K. You know, may have to add some of that. Of course, I'll check pH as well. Because here, this is where the beans are going to be this year. It's about, 8-10 feet span here. There'll be plenty for old Mr. Tom. Lord, I still got some left from 2019. And, of course, 2020. I grow beans all the time. And there's a reason for that, folks. Everybody here late's just panicking over meat. I ain't gonna have no meat. They're gonna force us to eat plant-based meat. I'm just gonna call this one right now. I don't think they're ever gonna force us to do that. Now, currently they're advertising Beyond Meat, Impossible Meat. You see it everywhere. And many will choose it. But I don't think it's ever going to become a forced issue. As far as I'm concerned, you can write it on a sticky note, stick it on the fridge. Meat will always be here. Well, we got some beautiful flowers right there. And, you know, with old age comes, I used to know what these were. Now it escapes me. So I have to look at my own video and see what they are again. If y'all know, you can tell me in the video, comments below. But things have been popping for the last couple of weeks, with many more to come as we get into warmer days. But like I say, part of coming out here today was to check on just what is popping. Take a look at what we got and all that. Because there is bounty. Like right here. There's a dandelion tucked right there by the Buford hollies. We're going to leave it. Look at that. We're going to let the wind come and blow those, so we'll have many more. And yeah, there was a time in my life when I thought dandelion was a horrendous weed in my yard. And I went to great extents to eradicate them, along with all these other broadleaf weeds. And at one time, you couldn't find a one out here in this lawn. Nope. Now you find many. You see, with age, you learn. You learn that, yeah, it may not all look uniform, all regular, straight, trim and proper. But if you look a little deeper, you think about it, you know, there is a plan. And it was a plan put in place before man. See, like this here one plant right here, springing up so high above everything else, already starting to flower. Yeah, there was a plan put in place far before man ever trod this earth. And I, am a multidisciplinary engineer. I knew my trade well, considered highly by others, though I always doubted myself. And that, never thought I quite measured up. I lacked all those highfalutin degrees. Mine were earned from experience, not bought and paid for. So I always felt a little bit less than others. But even I have now learned there is a plan, if you allow it to be. And you can either be a part of the plan, or you can be at war against it. I have chosen to be a part of the plan. And it wasn't like I was always against it. I was part of the original Back to the Land movement in the 70s. Well, it started in the 60s. Went through the 70s. Sort of fizzled out in the early 80s. Well, now as you see all over social media, it's like a new land rush to get back out in the country, out in the rural areas, be part of the land, grow your own food. And I still see people don't understand the plan. Some things you gotta let be. I see people buy pieces of ground, they won't even take a full season, a year, and watch how the sun rises and sets throughout the 4 seasons, which is excellent information to know. You're going to be growing something. They won't even learn where the prevailing winds come during those 4 seasons, which is also something extremely important to know. They don't watch to see what the rainfall is like, when it comes, when it goes. Nope. Taking 1 year to just make observations on your piece of property will be the best investment in time you ever spent. I've seen so many people, especially on social media, set out, put out their homestead, put up fences, do all kinds of stuff just to learn ain't quite in right places. So they got to do it all over again. Well, if you ain't got a year to invest to watch your place and see how it's all working together, then good luck to you, because you're going to need it. Just like your soil. How does it drain? Does it hold water? Or does it drain well and dry up quickly? You see what I'm saying? All that is great knowledge to know. But you know what a lot of people say these days? Well, you just got to experiment. Yeah. You know what the word experiment is? Too silly not to ask somebody who's been there, done that before you for how they did it, their advice. Learn from their experience and their knowledge, their trials and their tribulations. And there again, that's something we've lost in America, and we've lost throughout our culture and society. We no longer respect the knowledge, experience, trials and tribulations that our elders went through to get us here to where we are today. And in my mind, that's not a good thing. Well, y'all, the wind's starting to pick up. Oh, Mr. Tom getting, a little bit chilly. Spook, get off the road, fool. Come on. Spooky, come on. Come on. Get off that road. Okay? I know. Asphalt's warm, ain't it? Come on over. Well, come on. You ain't nothing but a big baby. Well, I gotta get in our packages from the viewers, because we ain't ordered nothing, have we? And we'll let them sit for about 3 days. We'll open them up and see what we were blessed with. Like I said again, whoever sent them, you know who you are. You have all my thanks. And of course, Spooky's, Cleo's, and Gracie. Are you right inside the doorway? Are you? Are you right in there? I think you are. I think I see you. And Trixie, Elrod, and Magoo. You know, the whole kitty crew. We thank you more than we can ever say. So y'all, before my nose runs off my face, because like I say, it is windy, it's starting to get chilly, the sun's getting low. I've rambled enough for one old man for one day. I do hope this video finds y'all well, safe and happy with your family, friends and loved ones. And as always, I hope and I do pray that God will bless you, your family, friends and loved ones too. Till we all see you on the next video. Goodbye for now.